and welcome to the online book review for Audible books that I've listened to this week. This week I haven't had quite as stressful a week as I did last week, given the subject matter. This week I've listened or re-listened to, for the third time, Slow Horses by Mick Herron. I'm going to read you everything that I've written about the book, because I'm not terribly good at ad-libbing, and I prefer to read it, because otherwise you'll just get a whole load of tosh and you'll just think I'm insane. Okay, so please excuse me if my eyes go slightly to this side, because that's where I've put my Word document. Anyway, Slow Horses by Mick Herron is read by Sean Barrett. He is absolutely one of my favourite ever readers, because he's just so brilliant. I just hope that he never stops narrating books, because I just don't know what I would do without him. Okay, so the summary is: Slough House is Jackson Lamb's kingdom. Jackson Lamb is really rude and obnoxious, but in a lot of ways you'll end up absolutely loving him despite his rudeness. He's just a horrible character, but you can't help loving him because he is terribly loyal to his Joes, and Joes are the people that are in the field, and they are spies. So Slough House is Jackson Lamb's kingdom, a dumping ground for members of the intelligence service who screwed up, left a secret file on a train, blown surveillance, or become drunkenly unreliable. They're the service's poor relations, the slow horses. That's unfortunate, isn't it? And the bitterest among them is River Cartwright, whose days are spent transcribing mobile phone conversations. I mean, can you imagine? That must be so incredibly boring and just mind-blowingly boring. But when a young man is abducted and it's threatened that he'll be beheaded on the internet, River sees an opportunity to redeem himself. Is the victim who he first appears to be? And what are the kidnappers' connection with a disregarded or disgraced journalist? River finds that everyone involved has their own agenda. Of course they do. Slough House is an administrative purgatory for MI5 service rejects who have bungled their job but have not been sacked. Those consigned there are known as slow horses. They are expected to endure dull, paper-pushing tasks, along with the occasional mental abuse from their miserable boss, Jackson Lamb, who expects them to quit out of boredom or frustration, or actually probably from being so completely insulted all of the time. Life in Slough House, which is nowhere near Slough, I hasten to add, is defined by drudgery. Yet the slow horses somehow get involved with investigating schemes endangering Britain. In the Slough House series, there are 8 books. 4 of them could be considered as short stories, as they are anything from 1 hour and 6 minutes long up to 2 hours and 1 minute long. These ones are books 0.5, 2.5, 5.5 and 6.5. And as a Mick Herron Slough House addict, I have every single one of them. From the first line until the ending credits, I absolutely loved this book. I mean, I've listened to it now 3 times. Jackson Lamb is a likeable character despite his bad ways. River Cartwright clearly wants out of Slough House and is determined to prove himself after the blot on his copybook that landed him in there in the first place. Spying is clearly in his blood. Jackson Lamb's one-liners had me howling with laughter at times. In fact, when my brother listened to Jackson Lamb, I know he's listening to it because he keeps on texting me the one-liners that Jackson Lamb says, and so I know what he's listening to. It is small wonder that I have now listened to this book 3 times over the years and I'm still not bored with it. I would give it 5 stars on all accounts, and I will be listening to the next book over the next week. The main characters are Jackson Lamb, the head of Slough House. He is undeniably sloven and rude. He has a sharp and devious mind and retains his abilities as an experienced intelligence officer. He is also very protective of his Joes, even if it doesn't seem so. Joes are spies in the field who work for him. River Cartwright is an up-and-coming and visibly competent MI5 agent shunted aside to Slough House after a very public training exercise mistake, which we are led to believe was orchestrated by his colleague, James Spider Webb, who is a sycophantic little creep and unlikable on every level. I really don't like him. He's really snivelling. David Cartwright is Rivers Cartwright's grandfather, a retired MI5 officer often referred to as the OB, short for Old Bar Steward. That's the polite way of putting it, without swearing, of course. Diana Taverner, well, she's a piece of work, is the Deputy Director General of MI5 and Head of Operations and is designated Second Desk. She is a ruthless woman without any discernible morals as far as I can see. More than happy to stab you in the back, as well as tread on your fingers as she steps over you to climb the MI5 ladder to success. Not nice. Ingrid Tierney is the Director General of MI5, often referred to as First Desk, and I think Diana Taverner is coveting her job. Now, Catherine Standish is the downtrodden office administrator and a recovering alcoholic, still in love with her deceased boss, Charles Partner. Sidoni Sid Baker is a competent MI5 agent who is inexplicably assigned to Slough House. She has never made a mistake, so it's all very odd that she should be a slow horse at all. Louisa Guy, assigned after a tail operation went badly wrong. Roddy Ho, well, what can I say about this young man? He is an obnoxious, thoroughly unlikable computer expert and formerly a hacktivist. He is absolutely completely without a moral compass, and if he feels slighted by you in any way at all, he will have no compunction in ruining your life by using his legendary computer hacking skills to do so. Jed Moody, an ex-member of the Dogs, an MI5 internal affairs and tactical unit. Min Harper, assigned to Slough House after leaving a top secret disc on a train. Struan Loy, assigned after sending an inappropriate work email. I mean, who hasn't ever done that? Well, I probably haven't because I've always been self-employed. He is completely inoffensive, married, and seemingly always trying to sell raffle tickets for his children's school. Shirley Dander, who has anger and drug issues, but nevertheless she's a likeable character, and Marcus Longridge, a slow horse who tends to gamble on the job. Now, those are all the people in this series, and the main characters do carry on throughout the series, so you really do get invested in their story and how they get on. Anyway, that was Slow Horses, read by Sean Barrett, and the book was by Mick Herron. The next book I'm going to review is The Hong Kong Stories by Mark Dawson, read by Jane Slavin. The summary of this book is as follows. Beatrix Rose has been betrayed. Her husband has been murdered and her daughter Isabella abducted. She flees to the Hong Kong underworld to plot her revenge. Those who wronged her will pay. Beatrix is the most dangerous woman you've ever met. Those who wronged her will pay. She was an assassin for the firm, the beyond top secret agency that did the dirty work for the British Secret Services. She is lethal, ethically flexible, totally ruthless, and you know what they say about payback. Beatrix needs cash for the search for Isabella. When she rescues a local man from a beating in a Kowloon karaoke bar, she ends up finding money-making opportunities in the local underworld. The triads have a need for a woman with her particular skills. But when the boss goes too far, he has to pay the price, rightly so. In a breakneck-paced roller coaster of action, Beatrix discovers that dangers lurk in the unlikeliest of places, and nothing is as it seems. If you like a book that has a strong, ruthless, motivated female lead character, then this series is for you. Beatrix Rose just happens to be an ex-agent belonging to a very shady branch of the security services, not known to anyone, even the Prime Minister, that does work that's supposedly to keep the United Kingdom safe from those who will do it harm. Despite her ruthlessness, I found myself willing her to succeed. She does have a moral compass of sorts, and I like that in her character. The books are exciting and keep you wanting more. I have now purchased the entire series and will work my way through them over the next week or so. There are 5 books in the series, and 2 of them are relatively short stories. I did enjoy the reader's portrayal of the characters and would definitely listen to more of the books that she has read. I gave her 5 stars on every count. The book, the story, and overall, and thoroughly enjoyed it. And to almost quote John Ebden, if you have been, thanks for watching. Bye.